Hi guys, welcome to another section of Learning with Prep Class. I am Tutor Chima and I'm going to be anchoring today's section. In today's section, we are going to be solving past questions on Biology WAEC 2018, and we are going to be looking at questions 21 to 25. This is so because in our previous video we solved past questions Biology 2018 and we look at questions 16 to 20. So because of that, today we are going to be looking at questions 21 to 25. Alright students, before we proceed, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I urge you to quickly do that before you even continue with the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos. When you look below there, you're going to see a notification bell. Click on the notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever we have such an educational content on our channel. Now, do not forget to comment on our comment section box. A comment can be a question, on this today's class. It can be a question on the previous classes I've had. Whichever the question is, just drop it in our comment section and I'll be available to attend to your question. Now, having said that, we are going to go straight to the business of today, which is to solve Biology WAEC past question for the year 2018. Like I said, we'll be looking at questions 21 to 25. Okay, 21 says, the source of energy required by plants during food production is, the source of energy required by plants during food production is, this is a very simple question. Is it photosynthesis? Is it chlorophyll? Is it sunlight? Is it microorganisms? Do not be so fast to go and click photosynthesis, because you know that photosynthesis is the process by which plants manufacture food. But they're asking the source of energy, not the process by which plants manufacture food. They're asking you the source of what energy. Now, plants use solar energy, that is energy from sunlight, to manufacture food, which is starch. This light is trapped by chlorophyll, that's the green pigment in plants, and the process is known as photosynthesis. So since they're asking us the source of energy is what? Solar energy, which is sunlight. So sunlight is the best answer because they're asking us source of energy. So it's what? Sunlight. 22. One major difference between plants and animal nutrition is the ability of plants to synthesize. Is it food for plants and animals? Is it water for plants? Is it water for animals? Is it food for plants only? So one major difference between plant and animal is the ability for plants to produce food for plants and animals, to produce water for plants, to produce water for animals, or to produce food for plants only. Now, the major difference between plants and animals is the ability of plants to synthesize or manufacture food. So the ability for plants to photosynthesize, to carry out photosynthesis, is the major difference between a plant and an animal. Now you must know that food that is manufactured is for both the plants and the animals, because animals feed on ready-made food. They depend on plants directly or indirectly for plants. For example, zebra that feeds on grasses depend on grasses for food. Yes, lion may not depend on the grasses, but lion feeds on the zebra that fed on the grasses. So that simply means that lion indirectly depended on grass for food, because if there are no herbivores to feed on those grasses, to convert those grasses to flesh, what will the carnivores, which are the lions, feed on? So the food that is produced by plants is used for both the plants and the animals. So that is why plants are called food producers. So the difference is that plants manufacture food for both plants and animals. So the best option is A, manufacture food for both plants and animals. 23. By what process is starch converted into maltose? By what process is starch converted into maltose? Had it been digestion is there, I would have said a digestion process. But so since digestion is not here, the best answer there is hydrolysis, because they say hydrolysis, condensation, translocation, photosynthesis. Now look at what I said. Hydrolysis is the process by which water is added to a chemical substance. The addition of this water splits the substance into smaller fragments of molecules. Starch can be hydrolyzed by maltose or glucose. Now, let me even tell you, the way they manufacture, I'm sure you know glucose, that sweet, sugary substance. If you are the type of student that have participated in inter-house sports when you are in secondary school, after those students have done their marathon or run, you notice that we give them powdered glucose to lick, for them to lick. That white glucose, I believe you know what I mean by glucose. That glucose is manufactured industrially by the hydrolysis of starch. That's how they manufacture that glucose, by the hydrolysis of what? Starch. They get starch and they add a dilute hydrochloric acid. It can be HCl, it can be H2SO4. The essence of that hydrochloric acid is to speed up that reaction. Because if you boil the starch and boil for hours, it will take so much, I don't know, in days or so. So to make the reaction faster, you add HCl. So starch is usually boiled with twice its mass of HCl to get a starch, maybe from yam or cassava. They'll now boil that starch with 2 times its mass of either HCl or H2SO4, and they'll boil it for 2 hours. After boiling for 2 hours, the starch will now be hydrolyzed to glucose. Then the glucose will now be crystallized out. So that is how starch is manufactured. That is how glucose is manufactured in the industry. It's manufactured by the hydrolysis of starch, by boiling starch with dilute acid. So the process that we start can be converted to maltose, or maybe glucose is what? Hydrolysis. So your best answer there is hydrolysis. Okay. 24. The ascent of water in tall trees is mainly due to, is it adhesive force? Is it transpiration pool? I believe you've seen the answer. Is it root pressure? Is it cohesive forces? Now, I said that transpiration pool, because I don't want to start wasting our time defining all this. There's no need. Transpiration pool could be simply defined as the biological process in which the force of pulling is produced inside the xylem tissue. Beware that the xylem is the tissue for conducting water in plants, conducting water from the roots to the leaves. The phloem is the tissue for conducting what? Food produced by photosynthesis. The phloem conducts food from the leaf through the stem to the roots, but the xylem conducts water from the roots through the stem to the leaves. So transpiration pool could be defined as the biological process in which force of pulling is produced inside the xylem tissue. This force helps in the upward movement of water into the xylem vessels. In this process, loss of water in the form of vapors through leaves are observed. So that's a process where the xylem conduct that water, or what will help the xylem to conduct that water easily from the roots through the stem, then to the leaves, where they will now be transpirated out in form of vapor. It's known as transpiration pool. That's the name of that force, transpiration pool. So the best answer is that the ascent of water in tall trees is mainly due to transpiration pool. Transpiration pool. 25. The duodenum of a person was surgically removed. Which of the following food substance would have their digestion affected? So which of the following food substance will have their digestion affected if you remove the duodenum, or if the duodenum of a person was surgically removed? Is it the starch and protein only? Is it the starch and lipids only? Is it starch, peptones and maltose? Is it starch, protein and lipids? Now look at this diagram. You can see the structure of that part that is close to the duodenum. This is the stomach, this is the liver, this is the gallbladder. So you can see this is the duodenum. The duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. So in this duodenum, the gallbladder has its duct that terminates here. the pancreas to have its own duct that terminates here. So the gallbladder empties and the pancreas also conducts its liquid into the duodenum. So both the liquid from the gallbladder and from the pancreas enters into the duodenum. So I said that the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. The pancreatic duct, that's the hole, the opening from the pancreas that empties the liquid pancreatic juice into the duodenum. So then the pancreatic duct is terminated at the duodenum, and here the pancreatic juice is added to food when it passes through the duodenum. The pancreatic juice contains 3 enzymes: amylase for digesting carbohydrates, trypsin, that is for digesting proteins, and lipase for digesting lipids. So if this duodenum is now surgically removed, then that simply means that the pancreatic juice will not enter, and that simply means that digestion of amylase, that is digestion of carbohydrates, protein and lipids, will be affected, because the duodenum contains the 3 enzymes: amylase for digesting carbohydrate, trypsin for digesting protein, and lipase for digesting lipids. So if it's removed, you can see that digestion for carbohydrate, protein and lipids will be affected. So your best answer is D. Digestion for starch, which is carbohydrate, protein and lipids will be affected. Alright guys, we've come to the end of today's section of Learning with Prep Class, where we looked at past questions on biology for the year 2018. We solved questions 21 to 25. So when you go here, you're going to see a link. I urge you to copy and paste this link on your browser. When you do so, it's going to take you straight to our WhatsApp group. So when you join our WhatsApp group, you're getting updates and infos on the latest videos we have on our YouTube channel. Till we meet again, I still remain Tutor Shima. Bye and do stay safe.